Hello, welcome to my video and welcome to Creekside Acres. This week's been a busy week. The crop sprayers have been busy making a row. Lots of fungi coming up through the wood chips, lots of wild flowers and lots of rain. We have had a very wet week and the creek is flooded again, which is a bit depressing. Walking down to the stile, I go past the previous year's flood markers, so we're nowhere near that level of flooding, but it is pretty high. It's swallowed a lot of my fence posts, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be so lucky this time. I've had two breaks where it managed to survive, so and there you can see all the water out across my grazing pasture. The female deer is making lots of guest appearances on the webcam, so she seems to quite enjoy prancing by. She got a bit close to one of my flower gardens the other day. I saw some footprints in there from her, so she better behave. Though I think there's plenty to spare, and I think there's not deer-friendly plants in there, so maybe she'll keep well away now. The barn swallows are feeding young underneath the eaves, making use of the Christmas decorations. So there's at least 2 babies in there that they're feeding. They feed them mainly mosquitoes, so I'm not sure why everybody sprays their mosquitoes, because if they encourage swallows like this, it would keep the yard a bit cleaner from those pesky bugs. Look at these wonderful cottonwood trees. They must be quite old, I think, because they're huge. My lovely swamp milkweed and speedwell in the foreground. These are wild pollinator friendly flowers that I've grown from seeds, and they're perennials now, so that's good. And then there's a bee hotel which doesn't get used very much, so maybe I need to clean it or something, on the right hand side. But it's looking good. My peas and my broad beans and my lentils, they're not doing very well, but my French beans are doing well. And the gladioli coming up needs weeding. And then my pole beans, some of those are really taking off. My onions and my leeks, and then my fabulous garlic. And then behind is the potatoes. Look at the height of those. Those are nearly 3 foot tall and lovely flowers. Beautiful. These are the early potatoes at this end, which are the most tallest and look as if they're doing really well. I keep checking them for potato bugs, but we don't seem to be having any. Something's chewing the leaves, but they are bright orange. Stand out really easy. But so far this year, we haven't got any, but I'm sure that will change. Well, it's been a very, very wet week this week, and we're flooded again, which you've seen in earlier pictures. If you just look at this wood chip path You look at the amount of toadstools that are coming up through it, incredible. So it just shows how damp it all is. But it's good for the crops, like these courgettes on the left hand side are starting to do really well, zucchinis. So I'm really pleased with some of the crops. The crops that need a lot of heat, they're not doing very well this year. But sometimes you can't win them all. Well, this is my tomato setup. There are two different types of tomatoes. There are indeterminate and determinate. Determinate are the bush tomatoes, which tend to have multiple stems coming out from the main shoot and don't need support, and they grow into a bush size, and you can pick those quite often as they ripen, whereas these indeterminate tend to ripen more uniformly, and they grow up one leader if you trim them out, sort of thing, by removing shoots that are in the apex of the from the leaf to the main stem. They will grow a little shoot from there, and you don't want that shoot, so you pull it off. These strings, I bury them into the hole, so I tie them round into a loop, and then plant the plant on top of them, and then flatten it down, so then it is secured in the bottom of the ground. And then with two pieces of this baler twine, I come up to this wooden support up here, and I tie it round there, and I can untie these if I need to extend it in any way if they get too tight. Last year I had wires, and wires didn't work very well because they sagged a lot in the middle, whereas this seems to look pretty good, so I think I might well have cracked it. Let's hope, fingers crossed. Well, thank you for watching my latest video. It's been a very wet week this week. Let's hope next week's going to be really dry and beautiful. So like and subscribe if you've enjoyed my videos, and I hope I'll have lots of exciting things to show you next week. Okay, take care, have a great week. Bye bye.